Pulijal, and on behalf of the Foundation for India Studies Houston and the Indo-American Oral History Project, being done in partnership with the Houston Public Library and the Houston Community College, we welcome Mr. Surender and Mrs. Lalita Trehan today. And today indeed is a very privileged day because it is the 70th anniversary of the Republic Day of India. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I know you are long-time Houstonians, just like me, and both of you have contributed a lot to the community in different arenas. So why don't we start with you, Mrs. Lalita Trehan?
All right.
So tell me about your background in India. Where are you from in India?
I basically grew up in Delhi. My father was a judge and he was going around in Punjab.
Mm-hmm.
And once he retired, he settled in Delhi. So my high school and my college education is from Delhi. I went to Lady College, did BS in Home Science. And after that I did B.Ed and I got married.
Okay, that's the... And at what age did you come to United States?
I was 28.
28, okay.
Yes, I came in 1974.
I see. What made you come to United States and your thoughts? And how was India when you were growing up? And what did you feel when you come to United States? I mean, did you feel it was very different, or could you adapt very easily to?
Okay, I had gone from, when I was living in India, at that time I had a chance to visit Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So I had traveled already to
Mm-hmm.
different countries in Europe, like
Mm-hmm.
France and Germany and London. So when I came to USA, I did not have a shock like about the
culture,
standard of living and
Yeah.
culture. But it was when I started living here, then I found a little hard to adjust because I felt very lonely. I came from an extended family.
Yes.
I was living in an extended family.
That's very understandable.
Yeah, so that was a little bit hard on me. And it took me a while to get adapted.
Missed your parents, siblings.
Yes. I used to miss. I come from a very large family.
Yes.
And I got into a very large family
Yes.
after marriage.
Yes.
So it was very close-knit family.
Yes.
So it was.
So that was a big
hard.
adjustment.
It was hard.
Big adjustment. Yeah.
Because
So-
nobody was coming and knocking at your doors.
Yes. Nobody barging in without appointment, or you had to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very
So-
true.
Which city did you come into first when you came to United States? Was it Houston?
Oh, no, we came to Cleveland.
Oh, I see. Oh, the cold country.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were living in a townhome, two-bedroom townhome,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very fortunate. I was living on the ground floor, and the first floor was American couple, elderly couple,
Mm-hmm.
very nice couple,
Mm-hmm.
very sweet, and in fact, my daughters Nidhi and Stuti,
Mm-hmm.
they used to call them Grandma, Grandpa, Greenrod.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I still remember their
nice.
names.
Yes. Yeah.
Very loving people.
Very nice. So that's you had a umbrage of an elder couple, so you kind of felt a little bit cosseted and
Yes.
taken care of.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Very true.
And so from Cleveland, did you move to Houston?
No, then I moved to Chicago because by then my sister had come from India to Chicago.
Oh, I see.
And then I told my husband, let's move to Chicago because I was getting very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to Chicago, and we were there for 5 years before we moved to Houston.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know you mentioned that you had done your B.Ed in India.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is that what drew, I know you are a prominent person in education, in early childhood education, in Montessori. So is that what gave you the foundation to, and draw you into education?
Honestly, when I came to Cleveland, I got sick.
Oh.
I ended up in hospital for a few days after my strep throat.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the nurses were so kind and beautiful nurses taking good care of me and comforting me when I had joint pains. I want to be a nurse.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then one of my
You have
friends,
made a very good one.
one of my friends, she suggested that I should work in a hospital as a nurse's aide to find out whether I really like it. And that was a very good advice she gave me.
Yeah, yeah.
I worked for one day. I could not take the pain of the sick people.
Sick people.
I was kind of crying there. And I told my husband, I said, no, I don't think I can work.
You won't be of help to the
No,
patients.
exactly. I get very emotional when I
Yes,
see people
yes,
hurting.
Yeah.
So then I prayed to God, and God guided me. You like children, and the light came. I love children, and why don't you do something that's a very happy environment? You should work with children. So
That's wonderful.
it was God's guidance to me.
So that's what, and then so you worked in the Montessori, and then tell me about how the idea came to open your own school and...
Actually, when I was in Chicago, in the evening when he would come home, I attended one of the 3 credit hours course. I attended early childhood education.
I see.
During the early childhood education, I was introduced to Montessori.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I said, oh, there's a method which respects children. Because when I was growing up in India,
Yeah.
it was like, listen to me what I say, don't argue with me.
It's a command.
It was
Command.
a command. You know, my mother was very gentle and kind, my father was authoritative.
That was a
So
typical household.
that was his remark all the time, listen to what I say,
Yeah.
don't ask questions.
Yeah.
And I always felt very inhibited. And when I read about Montessori, and I said, wow, because I truly believe children should be respected, I truly believe children should have their equal right. If you don't respect me, how do you expect me to respect you? That was my philosophy.
So
when I
that's
was growing up.
inculcated from early on.
Yes. And so when I was introduced to Montessori, I just fell in love with it. And then God was guiding me. I attended the training, Mecca City in Chicago, Mecca City Training Center. And no looking back. 78 I've been in Montessori, working with children, and I love it. And one day my husband asked me that, in your next birth, what would you like to do? I said, I would like to be born as a Montessori teacher.
The true to you, true to your nature.
Because I've learned so much. The
Yes.
children have taught me so much.
Yes.
I feel like it's a waste. Even now when I want to retire, that's the only inhibition I have. Because I feel like now I have more to give
Yes,
to the children and to the parents.
that is beautiful. But I know there are different aspects when you're an entrepreneur. How do you cope with that? I know your first love is the children, but you can't always be there because you have to look at the business aspects also. So what has your experience been, and what advice would you give people who want to tread in the same footsteps as you?
I have never looked at my school as a business. I felt like I want to do my best.
It was your baby.
Right. So whenever I have taken any decision, I have taken keeping children in mind. And that has been one of my weak areas about budgeting. I never look at the budget. I always kind of have an estimation, okay, these are the revenues, I can go over that. And I've never felt like, oh, I have to save this much money, that much money. But God has been very kind. And from day one, when I opened the very first school, American Montessori School on Highway 6 in Bel Air, the first month we made money.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah.
So I have never budgeted, even till today.
Yeah.
After being in, since '86, I've been directing the program.
Yeah.
Never budgeted.
So the children and the money, it just comes
I
in
think-
because
I
once.
think- I think it comes as a side project.
Yeah.
If you look at the program, that these are the needs of the children, these are the needs of the teacher, this is what you have to
When
do.
you make them the priority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
everything falls in place.
Yes.
The
that's
money
wonderful.
comes, money
Wonderful.
comes.
Yeah.
You should never make it as a focus, that's what I tell my son also.
So that's the secret of your success.
Yeah. Money comes.
And now you have opened, I know your son Drew has taken over some of the schools, and you have opened many other branches. That is, and you laid a pathway to the next generation. So So does he equally enjoy?
Actually, when he decided to go into opening a Montessori school, I dissuaded him.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I said, Drew, why do you want to do this? Because this was my passion. I spent like 10 hours, 11, I've spent up to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I said, it's not a business. If you want to do a business, you should take a franchise, like Kids and Kids, because Kids and Kids is thriving these days.
Right.
So he said, Mom, do you think I'll take that franchise and run a daycare?
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? He says, no, I would rather do something else than to offer a poor quality education, because usually daycares are equated with poor quality education.
I see. Yes.
But again, I
It's
feel
more
like
care rather than the education.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people have gone into education field not really worrying about the children's emotional health. Their academics comes because emotional and social skills are very, very important. We have to worry about children. So they feel like they are successful in life. They can do anything.
Yeah.
If they feel confident, if they have good high self-esteem, I think they can accomplish. So he said, no, Mom, I will not do it. I said, okay.
So he wanted to.
So then I helped him open Katie School.
Yeah. That's what I know. It's doing extremely well, and in fact, we have heard that there is a long waiting list to get into the school. And
in fact, to answer that question, he and his wife Gauri, they've opened full share. They did it on their own. I didn't help them at all this time.
Wonderful, wonderful. You gave them good foundation, and
God is always guiding everyone.
So I know that you are also on the board of Fort Bend ISD textbook. Tell me about your contributions in that.
Well, I was on Texas Center for Education Board in Austin. They used to invite me to Austin. I was their trustee for 9 years, and I learned a lot from them actually, how the public sector of public education works, and what the limitations they face sometimes, But I hope I contributed a little bit, letting them know about Montessori approach and how early childhood education is so important before they go into kindergarten. So, but it hasn't happened in Texas as well.
I think, but now they have opened pre-K, but I think only for
underprivileged.
Okay,
Yes.
and for when English as a second language,
That is
spoken, not spoken at home. And
yes,
okay,
yes, and
okay,
all that. Yes.
okay. So have you had any say on the curriculum of the kindergarten or the textbooks or anything like that for the public schools?
I was there on the advisory board of curriculum committee in Fort Bend. At that time, I was there for I think just a couple of years. And again, things don't change just like that.
Yes.
People have very set ways.
Right.
I did not feel I contributed anything, to be honest with you.
Okay. But your presence must have helped in the sense, you introduced them to the Montessori way of thinking, and change will come.
Yes, it gradually will come, hopefully.
Yeah, in increments.
Yes.
So I know you enjoy unbelievable, but you have a grandson who's already in college.
Yes.
So how do you enjoy grandchildren? You have grandchildren of different ages?
Yes, I have 4 grandchildren. My daughter, Studi, she has 2, Dylan and Priya. Dylan is entered UT, first year of college. And he's doing business honors, and Priya is still in Fort Minnesota, and she's in 7th grade.
She's in 7th grade. And other grandchildren?
Those 2 children, Ishan, he's coming to us.
Yeah.
He's finishing his last year with us.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
How do you cope with him as a grandchild at home and a student at your school?
It has been a little difficult.
I imagine so.
Because when my daughter's children came, my other grandchildren, they were living with her, but they were not living with me.
Yes.
And it was a little bit different. And
The transition
yes,
was...
for me, to be honest with you, all children are the same as at the school.
Yes.
When Ishan joined us, he wanted to have special treatment from me.
He's used to it at home.
He's used to it at home. And I had to tell him, it took him almost a year to understand that everybody's equal. When I told him when we are in school, everybody's equal to me. including you and other children. There's no difference. He didn't like that.
It's hard for children to. It's grandma first, not the teacher.
That's right. That's right. But honestly, I feel like when I'm there, everybody's same to me.
Yeah.
Nobody needs special treatment.
That's true. That's true. And I know your older daughter Nidhi. She has done wonderful and extensive work about European gypsies, Romanian gypsies.
That's true.
Can you tell us a little bit about her work? And
yes, Nidhi was in Hungary for about 5 to 6 years before she did her PhD from London School of Economics. And she worked there for a human rights organization. And she did extensive study, and actually she would go and visit the places. She wanted to see firsthand. She did a lot of research on gypsies, how they live, how are they being treated, and how they're being discriminated.
Yes, yes.
And
and also she worked on their origins and origins from India, the Lambada race.
Yes.
That's amazing. Amazing. I had the opportunity to speak with her on many occasions about her work, and it is truly fascinating. Truly fascinating.
Thank you.
Now, moving to some of the social aspects. Now, you're seeing the next generation. What do you think? Like when you see your grandchildren, and what do you think of their future in this current environment in the United States, and in general, not just current environment, but in general, we as immigrants, we have come, we have settled, we have made our home here, and the children, this is their home.
That's right.
So,
that's right. This is their home, and children, I think these children are very fortunate, the second generation children, because they already have the basis. Their parents have provided them good education, and they are doing very well. I see that happening to my friends' children. They're very well established, they're educated, they're established, and they're doing very well. I think their future is very bright, and I'm very, very happy to see the next generation getting involved in political arena now.
That's wonderful.
And that is so important now that that we
so that we are well represented.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the present situation will change. Nothing is permanent.
True.
Change is the only thing constant in life.
Yes.
And I think these children have a very bright future. The only thing I think I would like to share is that we should share with our children, the next generation. They should be humble. They should adopt humility, and also they should be compassionate, kind, and caring.
Yes.
Not being very self-centered.
So true. So true. Because yes, they have been blessed, and they need to pass it on to others.
Right, the sense of gratitude.
Yes.
They must have that.
Yes.
What they have got in their life, they need to have the sense of gratitude,
Yes.
which I think is lacking. I think, but I could be totally wrong.
Yes. Yes. Well, it comes with nurturing, and what they have received, they're going to give back to the community.
Yes. I think it's the values we pass on to them will shape up. It will come into their lives eventually. If not now, but maybe a little bit later.
Yes, yes, as they mature.
Exactly.
In the society, you're seeing, as we see the children are settling down, and they're free to choose and marry whom they want.
Right, right.
What do you think of the interracial marriages? How will they be integrated into the community? What is your opinion on that?
I think I'm all for it because I believe in humanity. I don't believe in races. I don't believe in religions. I think all religions are beautiful. We just have to learn to respect the differences. We can be different, but at the same time, we can be human. Emotions are the same. The feelings are the same.
Yes.
And if we teach our children how to respect and love and be kind to each other, I think we can cross those boundaries.
And then the children will be more accepting and of each other, of
Exactly.
other faiths and
Yes.
and we'll have a better and more harmonious society,
That's very true.
hopefully.
And I think it's wonderful. I'm totally for it. I'm not against it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Another thing, so it comes to mind, now our generation, the first generation immigrants, which be it from any country, we tend to live our way, and then we build be temples or what other religious structures we build and all. What do you think in future will be the sustainability of these institutions in this? I mean, do you think our children will support it, or what will happen?
What I see now, at this time, I can share you my experience, what I've observed. I have observed that the young generation who's going to temples and other places of worship, they're more H1 visa.
Yes, yes.
The
They're not
second generation,
our
the children who are born here and raised here.
Yeah.
I feel like they're less, I wouldn't say they are not spiritual.
Yeah.
They could be spiritual, but maybe not very religious.
Yeah.
That's my observation.
Right. They're not into the ritualism.
Exactly.
Ritualism. But they're spiritual, but...
But people who come from India on H1 visa, I feel like they are going more often to
because,
these
yeah,
places.
that's how, I guess, currently the temples get refreshed with the new blood that's
Yes.
coming from India or outside
Yes.
of the United States.
And what
Yeah.
will be the future, good Lord knows.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
We'll let
Because-
we'll let the tomorrow worry about itself, right?
Yes, yes, so true. But because we have heard, like in certain places, like I've heard, like in Trinidad or something, where a lot of Indian workers were brought in by the British as railway workers and all. They had a lot of temples and all, and the children migrated to different countries, and so the temples and all, they didn't sustain because there was no revenue and there was no people going there to support it. So I hope something like that
Doesn't happen.
yeah, that doesn't happen. But like you said, the future will take care of itself
Yes.
in its own way.
Yes.
Yeah,
God has His own ways of working things out.
So, would you like to say anything else?
About what?
No, about what are your closing comments? I mean, like, would you like to say?
Well, I would like to say thank you to you first for inviting, and thank you to Mr. Wabilala.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to share my views. And thank you for inviting.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful having you. Thank you, and good luck in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.